So here we have a 2011 Ford Ranger. So from 2006 to 2011 or 12, you're going to have this type of head unit. So fairly straightforward, like radio at the top, dials in the bottom. And this is the one that's going to suit our Vhedia. Pretty basic unit. Doesn't do too much at the moment, just has radio basically. And it's like a 6-disc changer in the dash. This will also be the same for the Mazda BT50, the older one, so the Ford Ranger and the BT50. So look, fairly easy to pull this one out. You just want to pull off all your air conditioning hook knobs. Remember where they came from. Unscrew your two Phillips head screws here. Then we just want to get your trim removal tool, which comes in the kit, and go around the edge of the dash here. So starting at the bottom, and just go around the bottom, leaving it up as you go around. And working your way up the sides, obviously. So we've gone like around here, and you can see it's all pretty much clipped off, so just take your time to do it and pull this out now. Now once it comes out, you can see there's a plug in the back here that we have to undo, so just you push down on the top of it here for your hazard switch and pull it out. That comes out. And then obviously we've got the plugs in the back of the head unit here. So there's just a little clip on the bottom of both of them you need to push in. This one was just a bit tight, so you can push that in with the trim removal tool. And just in the bottom here you've got the plugs going to the aircon. Okay, just undo those as well. So again, just got to push the lugs in and pull them out. So that's the head unit all removed. Plugged at the back there had one plug, two plug antenna. Pretty straightforward. Two on the bottom, going to the two switches here. And your one on the hazard switch up the top. Just sit in the back seat for now. So those are all the plugs we have. So the radio plugs we only have 1, 2, 3. And the other ones are for the other things we unplugged. So this will just cover what's in the kit here for the BT50 and the Ford Rangers 26 to 2012, I think, 2006 to 2012. So that's your main head unit there, so you can see. Then we've got all our parts in the kit here. So it comes with an OBD2 scan tool that can plug into your OBD2 port and give you engine data. We've got the main ease adapter kit, so this is going to plug into your main plug, and that plugs into the back of your head unit, so that converts all your speakers and your power, so you don't have to cut any wires or anything. We've got a brown plug here, so this is the auxiliary plug, so you're not actually going to use this one, so you don't have to worry about that. You got a white plug here with two USBs on it and like a mic, so this is for external mic and USBs. This plugs into the auxiliary in the back of the head unit. External microphone, that plugs into the one I just showed. A GPS screws into the back of the unit, and that gives the unit its own GPS. Wi-Fi antenna screws into the back of the unit. This you can just leave floating around the back. It just helps extend the Wi-Fi signal if you do need to. Majority of people don't. Auxiliary pre-out, so this is if you're running an aftermarket amp and sub, etc. So majority of people won't need to use this, but if you are, you can use it. the camera input. So you can run 2 cameras for this here. So the kit comes with like a reverse camera, so that's going to like plug into this purple one, and it's going to plug into the other grey end here. Then we have the third USB plug, just the pink plug in the end, plugged into the auxiliary ports. Trim removal tools, reverse camera, so like a 5 meter long lead. This just like runs to the back here. Your like positive and like negative will go to your reverse light power, so you can either take that off the reverse lights or off the trailer plug. This here will plug into the camera itself. This here will plug into the camera itself. This here will plug into the back of the head unit, and the green wire here is our reverse trigger, which will go into the orange and black connection on the main harness. And that's just a 1080p AHD reverse camera. You can see you can adjust the angle quite a bit. And our 2 plugs on the end here, which you've already spoken about. That's it. And then just the back of the head unit, to explain what I was just talking about before. You've got your main 20 pin plug, you've got your GPS plug, auxiliary plugs, a Wi-Fi antenna, and like FM plug. And that's everything that's in the kit. So once the original unit's out, this is like the new unit, original unit, there's a few things we need to like take off. We've got 1, 2, 3 screws here, so these two buttons are going to come out. Obviously they're going to go into the 3 screws here. Got our 2 clip buttons here, 1, 2, they'll come out and go into here, 1, 2. And then we got the plastic clips. So these plastic clips, just get a screwdriver on like both sides, and you can just like lever and pop them out. And then in the top you got the hazard switch, so you 1, 2, 1, 2, so that goes in like. These are all plastic coarse threads, so don't over tighten them. So you can see now we got our 2 switches in, 2 lights, and our hazard switch up the top. Just getting one of these off. Just go around and pop off all the clips, and these just clip straight back onto the new frame. So fairly easy. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to take off. So just going around, we're going to like use the existing stickers here. So if you just get a screwdriver gently into the outside and push down softly, or even probably something that isn't as sharp on the end would be good as well. You can just slowly unstick the stickers, and then we'll go around to the front side here, and you can just peel that sticker off. And we're just going to stick that sticker on the new unit. So just line that up where it was on the old one, and stick it down. Give it a good push down with your fingers, and then that'll be that done. So you can see we've done 2 there, and we'll just do the 3rd one now. So those are the 3 like stickers we've popped off and put onto the new one here. 1, 2, 3, all good. So just take our main ease adapter lead here. It's going to plug into your main big plug there. It can only go. So this part here, which is going to cover the reverse camera. So you can mount it wherever you want. Here we're going to put it pretty much onto this screw here. as you can see that in the sun. You basically just want to be able to see the tow ball and behind you really for like most people, so they can back onto a trailer easily, and obviously get your like reverse camera. So like normally sort of like near the trailer plug works quite well. Otherwise the other good spot is up here somewhere. Mount it wherever you can mount it like easily, because it's basically what you're after. We'll put like one screw through it on one side, because it'll like hold it in place. This thing weighs probably 50 grams or so, so it's pretty light. Then you can either, if you got like a trailer plug, you can join into the trailer plug, or you can join into your reverse light, because what you need is power from the reverse lights. So here you can see we've hooked our black and red up into our red and like white on here, which is for this like 7-pin trailer plug. You can just Google your pin out, and it'll like show you like the image of wiring for it. You want the ground and the reverse light signal, so we've connected into there. So you can use whatever connection points you want. Camera draws less than an amp, so it's fairly like a low draw. That's how that works. And the yellow RCA does plug into there, and then you run that cable all the way through to the front. So you just follow the other cables normally. So these run along above the chassis rail. So you can just do it a bit like sort of up at the start, just to get it in, and then you can either run it up wherever you want. But normally under your seat you'll have a grommet, or in your firewall you have a grommet. So we've run it along under, and you can see we've popped it up through the grommet in here, and we'll keep on following it through up behind the dash into the head unit. But what we've done here is we've just put it like this just to test it. So we've actually plugged it in, and we've tested when we are going to reverse that we are getting like a signal. This green wire will go to the orange and black wire, which is the reversing. And then we popped it up under the grommet under here, through here, behind the dash, and then to the head unit. So that's the reverse camera all done there. You can see it's sitting in here next to the trailer plug. You can put it wherever you want, so it's either you make it super tight and do a bit more like work, or the quick easy way. That's like solid there, so that's all good. You can see the tow ball in the trailer, and just obviously tidy up your wires once you're done. Black electrical tape's the way to go, and that's just like running along like the rest of them on top of the chassis rail on one way. Then we just want to put the head unit up, plug this here into the 20-pin plug in the back, and this into the radio plug. What that's going to allow us to do is just quickly check that we have sound. There's no steering wheel controls in here, so I don't have to worry about checking that, but just that we have sound and that the head unit powers up fine. So plug those in, turn the car on. So the head unit powering up, it's always a good start. So we've got the radio coming through and sound, which there's no steering wheel controls on here, and there isn't any factory reverse camera in here, but we're going to use an aftermarket one. But that's just that's the first test to check all that is working anyway. So we've done the quick test for our reverse camera. We've run that back behind here, so that's popped out behind the head unit now. Now we're just going to go through and put all the plugs that we need in. And then tidy up the ones we don't. So we've got our main ease adapter harness, which goes to the black 20-pin. This has got pretty much all your cables on it for this model. Clip that in. Can't go too wrong. We're not using this here on this model, because this one has it already. Not using any of these other things. There is two. Yeah, I'm not using anything else. So the only cable we're going to use, so we can actually tape all these back so they're a bit tidier. We can tape all these back. The only one we're going to use is this orange and black one. We'll join to the reverse trigger green one. So we'll join these two together. So we'll take our green wire here, using a phone gel connector. These are pretty handy to use for certain things when it's like a low power situation. So you just push them both in to the hole and then you crimp them down. We might actually include these with our reverse cameras in the future, so if you get one you got one. If you don't, join these two however you can or however you prefer. Some people prefer to do things different ways, up to you. So that's those joined. Then those ones we're not going to use, basically these few here, we can just put a bit of tape around those to tie them up like that, and that's all good. So that's tidied that up a bit. We're not using that. Tape that back onto there. So that's that taped up. We've got our two USBs and our external mic here. Up to you when you use external mic or not. You can try it with like both and see how you like it. But basically you want to have access to these. We will see in the future if we can get some panel switches to go into the panel switch in the dash over here, but they look a bit sort of different on this. So for now we're going to tuck them down the back here and get them out and just store them under the kick panel so they're out of the way. So we've just run them down there, and we'll probably just tuck them in behind that kick panel there so you can pull them out when you need them. So that's that there. So that's basically all we need to hook up there, and then we've got our GPS. So there isn't much going on under here. This is just like a plastic, so we can just actually stick this up right under here, and that should give us a good reception. That's been stuck under there. It's as far forward as you can get it. Now we're going to grab the external unit here. We've got an extra pink USB here, so this is a third USB. So this can be used if you're going to use one of our accessories like 4G modem or the dash cam. For now it's not too important. We've got our Wi-Fi antenna here. This screws up to the Wi-Fi side. That can just be left floating around the back. Again, we've just run the external mic through here, this cable, and we'll just put it here for now. We'll probably use a bit of double-sided tape just to mount it in here. So it should give it a bit closer to, but you can try both ways. There is a mic built into the front of the system as well, so we normally suggest give both a try. So alright, that's all good. So now we're going to screw on the GPS. Goes on the other side here. Gold connector. Then we'll plug in our USB white one here. All these, just double check they go on the right spot. They can actually only fit where they can fit into, but you could fit it into one that's smaller. That. We got our main plug. We also need our reverse camera plug here, the purple cable. you're only going to be like using the purple one here. These other ones for like a second camera, but that's going to plug into the RCA from your reverse camera, and your 20 pin main plug is the other one, and your external mic just needs to plug into here. So we'll plug that in now. Just plug it in, man. Plug it into there. So just give us a really good a push. You'll hear it go like a click.
Why is that not going in?
There you go. So even struggled there. So you just have to give it a really good push, and it'll go in fine. You'll hear it go click. Now basically we just want to sit the unit roughly in here, turn the keys on, and just make sure pretty much that we have some stuff happening. Again, we're just going to check. Oh, one plug I didn't plug in was the antenna, the FM antenna. So you want to plug that in, check you have like radio, sound, and the reverse camera works. Then once all that's done, we'll tidy the wires up a bit and we'll put the unit in. Yeah, we got sound coming through. Put the car into reverse. Reverse camera comes up. That's good. Now we'll tidy everything up and put the.
Oh, just power it off.
Well, basically I've tidied up all the cables now, so we're just going to do everything in reverse. So let's see what we got here in the back. Is you got your couple plugs going into like the bottom plugs for your aircon. So those are the first two you put in. You've hooked up all your stuff in the back here. So your main 20 pin plug, a reverse camera, second USB you're not using, a Wi-Fi antenna sitting on top, external microphone, FM antenna, don't forget that one. It's under here, we'll pull that back under. We'll plug that in last because it's a little bit short, and then the hazard switch on top. So we'll go through and do all that now. Then when you tie all the wires up, you don't need to do them too tight, because if they're a little bit loose it gives you a little bit of movement when you're doing things up. There's like one plug that isn't going to be used. This is like not used. This was from the old head unit, so don't worry about that. Just make sure you have the hazard one up the top here. So we'll tuck all the wires in, get them dropped behind, make sure we have our hazard one to plug in. Hazards are working, it's all good. And tuck all our wires in behind, so they'll all just sit in there and drop down. So now we're just going to go back and push it all in. So make sure it all lines up. Now just push it in, you'll hear the clips go in, so just want to go around and make sure it all pushes in nicely. That's not that sexy. It's not the world's best fit, is it? But it's pretty good, I think. So that's a unit in. Again, once it's in, you can obviously do your tests again. it all seems good. We've got a radio happening, sound, we've got our reverse camera. So now we just need to go and put our 2 screws back in, and then we'll tidy up our reverse camera wiring. So we just should leave the reverse camera wiring to tidy to last, because we want to ensure that's all working before we go and do it. So tighten those back up. Put our dials back in. Should only fit the way they go on, so there's a little shape on there, so just get them in there. So make sure your switches are working, they're fine, hazards working. You got your main aircon down there. So that is the finished unit. So you can see it isn't perfectly flush, but that's just the shape of the fascia, you can obviously see, but it all looks pretty good there. Now we'll go and tidy up our reverse camera wiring. So you can see you got like Android Auto there. Got your reverse camera. See the tow ball there easily. Now the reverse camera, you can have different apps on here.